Assalamualaikum, मैं हूँ शारुबा Khafran.
और मैं हूँ राजा सरोवर सोही. We welcome you to our show Breakout, changing the society
One step at a time. We welcome you to our very first special episode. Why is this a special episode? Because we're here with a very special guest with a very different style. Am I right?
Absolutely, and someone that we have admired for a really long time. At least I can talk about myself. He was the first person that I started listening to on the radio, and we are sitting here right now together, to talk about this thing, which we will discuss later on the show. But right now, to start off, I would like to welcome Mr. Wes Malik, who is a radio presenter, a voiceover artist, and someone who has done more than 1,000 voiceovers during his course of career. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
It's a pleasure to have you on our show, really.
Thank you.
All right, so let's kick off the show with the first thing first,
All right.
which is, can you tell us something about your early life and where did you grow up, where were you born, and what was your childhood like?
So, my childhood was that of a normal ABCD, all right? So, I was born in Canada, I grew up there, and when it was time for high school, my dad thought it was appropriate that we move to Pakistan, and we literally just packed everything up. I was in the middle of grade 9, and I changed schools, and I came to Islamabad.
Right.
And I had been visiting Pakistan every year of my life since I was about 4 or 5. So I was pretty, in touch with, all my cousins, and I knew about Karachi and Lahore, but I didn't know anything about Islamabad. So we moved here way back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
And how was Islamabad like back then?
Oh gosh, it was very small. It was super green, and it's very cozy. That's
Right.
what Islamabad was like.
It still is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it still is. Certain parts are, but it's definitely changed over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
The rest of my life was spent going back and forth between Canada. So I'd spend like 3 months of my summer vacations in Canada, like every single year, sometimes winter vacations. And then, so it was always, one leg in Pakistan, one leg in Canada. Then I moved to Canada I thought I'd move to Canada permanently for a couple of years to work there, which I did.
Yeah. Are you a dual national?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and I had to get Pakistani citizenship when I was here, of course. I wasn't at first. I was only a Canadian national at first, but that came along with a Shnakhti card and whatnot. And so I decided to come back about 15 years ago, like permanently. And although I've been back to North America, I haven't been back to actually work or anything. So I've been pretty much settled here for the last 15, 16 years.
So what did you study and what inspired you to become a radio presenter?
Oh boy, I did an MBA in marketing, all right, and I did a BBA honors in marketing as well. I was in advertising, and a lot of my friends said, hey man, you got a great voice, you should join radio. And this started way back when I was in my teens.
Yeah.
So I actually gave an audition to Radio Pakistan when I was like, I think 19 or 20 or so. And the guy said, you're a bit too young, you might want to try back later. It wasn't a blow off or anything, but I understand that, I didn't have any experience. So my fascination or my first visit to a radio station started when I was pretty young. It was around about the time when I was about 20 or 21 that all my friends would say, hey man, you got a great voice, you got to be on radio. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And I would record stuff on my laptop, like the Windows 98 opening logo on my laptop was in my voice, and whenever I'd open up my laptop to boot it up, my voice would say, welcome to Windows 98. And people were like, oh my God, my laptop doesn't say this. I'm like, well, mine is a little custom. So I had this little, fascination with, doing voice work and everything. While I was in advertising, we started work on the campaign to launch Pakistan's second FM radio station, which was FM 101. And I used to go meet with the station managers and the director general at that time. And even they were like, hey man, your voice is great, your English is great, why don't you do a show with us? And I was like, all right, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of months, I was like, all right, let's do this. And I went in, and because they had already offered me, a slot, I just started.
So basically you were just gifted, but like from birth, and you knew what you were going to do.
I
really?
wasn't gifted, but from birth, again, like I had a fascination with it. and you know, you hone your skills. Like I remember in the 80s, my cousin would say, listen man, you got to send me some music from Canada. So I'd record stuff from the radio, and then I'd like pretend to be a DJ, because I was really influenced by these guys like Casey Kasem and Gary James and the James Gang. You don't know about this guy, but Casey Kasem was a legend. He was the person who started the American Top 40, which Ryan Seacrest now hosts, right? So I used to try to copy those guys. They used to, you know, host their shows out of LA. I used to listen to them in Canada on syndication, on AM radio of all. So no, it's not a God-gifted talent or inborn or anything. Because when I first started out in radio, I think I sucked really, really bad. And I got into a really terrible style of presentation that my other radio friends actually told me, like, you got to present like this. And I was like, yeah, I got to do this, because I was like all caught up in the hype. And then I realized a couple of years later that's the wrong thing to do. I don't know if you're understanding this, but there's a typical style of FM broadcasters that they used to have. And I got into that, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not me. That's not natural. I don't. So the style they had at that time was like, they used to do a lot of rhymes, okay? So my opening line would be something like, I don't know if I remember this. This is a really long time ago. We would like, hey, 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 this is Wes Malik on the radio today. So sit right there and don't you get up and run. You're in tune to FM 101, like stuff like that, right? And then like every link would be like something trying to be really super cool, but you're not. So then I changed. I was like, man, I can't do this the rest of my life. This is no good.
Really
so I
shows
stopped.
in the way you present, though.
Yeah.
I must say that, because every time I listen to you, you can tell that the person is being natural.
Yeah.
And he's just being who he is and not really pretending to be someone else, which is something very common amongst the radio presenters, even right now.
Yeah.
It's just effortless. It really is.
Yeah, it takes time to get to that effortless stage, because whenever you sit in front of a microphone, doesn't matter how confident you are, you get the jitters. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, I have to speak to somebody I can't see. It's crazy. But yeah, I think you touched on a good point there. Being natural is something that, you know, wasn't very common way back when I started. Everyone was very unnatural. Yeah. They still are on a lot of local radio stations. They're very unnatural.
Yes, they are.
But the trend, the trend is changing. I think the trend is changing because of City FM 89. They came in with just, you know, regular people from off the street without experience, and they sort of, you know, took that forward. I developed this style when I was back in 101. No one understood it. They were like,
what are you doing?
There's nothing special. I'm like, that's what it is. There's, you know, nothing special is the special part. Just being a normal dude on radio that people can relate to.
True.
And, but no, there's a little bit of an act that you do have to put on radio. Considering the voice. And
you gotta be more energetic than you actually might be feeling at that
Yeah,
point.
you gotta be a little bit more energetic. You have to put on a show.
True.
You do have to put on
I really
a show.
want to know that what was the reaction of your family when you decided to become a radio presenter? Was that something that they were ready to accept? Because a lot of times in a society like ours, this can be something which can get you in trouble, right? Especially when you're thinking about having a long-term career in that. So what was the reaction?
There was absolutely no reaction, except for maybe like, oh, our son is on radio now. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The reaction was good, actually. But there was, in terms of a reaction, there was none, because I don't think my parents actually cared about what I did, what I studied, or they had very little involvement in my, you know, growing up. Which I don't know if this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, but I was free to explore and do whatever I wanted. So when I told them, hey, I got a radio show, they're like, okay, cool. When is it on? We're going to listen to it. You know, it's pretty cool. My dad, on the other hand, he couldn't care less. And I think it was maybe about 10 years later, he started telling people in the family, like, oh, my son is on radio, with like a little bit of pride. But I think it took about 10 years for him to warm up to it.
So what are you doing?
He's ultra conservative and ultra religious, and he's like,
Story of a lot of almost everyone's life.
Almost pretty much everyone,
So were you doing anything simultaneously, or was that the only thing that you were focusing on?
Man, the radio industry in Pakistan took a long while to flourish and develop, and it was really, there's a lot of people who took a risk of getting into radio full time and supporting their families. And every person I know on radio who went in full time didn't have a family to support, and I had a family to support very early on in my life, all right? And I had bills to pay, stuff to take care of. So I was doing something alongside of radio all the way up to 2007. Even after 2007, I would keep myself occupied apart from like, so up to 2007, I was in like a regular career, like a 9-to-5 job, okay? Well, it was never 9 to 5. Sometimes it was at nighttime, sometimes it was the daytime. But after 2007, I decided to get into the world of media full time, and because I thought the radio industry had come out of a slump. There was a really bad period of, between 2005 and 2007 where, a lot of cost-cutting measures and the industry wasn't doing so well. A lot of new radio stations had come up. Advertisers didn't know what to do. No one was making money in this industry. No one, And after that, I was like, you know what? Maybe the curve is starting to flow in a better situation, and we're starting to make money now. And I think I could do that, yeah. So after 2007, I stopped, and then I started working consulting, doing work part-time, setting up businesses, stuff like that, just to, add on income to it. And now, after 2010, what I do is radio completely, solely, and just my voiceover work.
Does that really pay off the bills?
Yes, and then some. Yeah.
How much do you get paid? Can we ask that?
Is that
Shit,
okay?
man.
Only for the radio.
Shit.
After
I don't
such a
feel
long-
comfortable answering that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is.
We won't force it.
I'll put it this way. Like if I was radio pays as much as, for me now, as much as a director or a VP in a telco.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's pretty okay. It's pretty all right.
That's good.
But after so many
Yeah.
years of struggle, definitely.
Yeah, after a lot of years, I wouldn't call it a struggle though.
You wouldn't?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It wasn't a struggle. It was just, just fun. The
Alright.
last 20 years have been extremely, satisfying and gratifying. So nothing to struggle.
So you don't...
And the radio generally
Yeah.
went through a downfall all around the world.
Yeah,
actually.
all around the world. Yeah,
it
in fact,
really did.
We
worldwide.
see that there is a revival going on, especially in States and
Oh
Europe.
yeah,
And
for sure.
we also see that maybe we have a hope in Pakistan as well for it to grow and reach the potential that it should.
Yeah.
So how do you see the revival coming to Pakistan?
So like technology changes, and we started out with cassettes, and then CDs, and then MP3s, and then the whole streaming thing took off, and then there's like over a billion gazillion podcasts. People watch YouTube, all right, to get entertained. But the radio has remained a consistent force in providing entertainment, information, and discovery of new music. And if you know these three things, and you can latch onto those, and you can build a show around those, you'll be fine, because the statistics show in America that in Canada, America, and even Europe, radio is being listened to more than it was 5 years ago, even though that there's more podcasts, even though people can listen to online radio, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. It's extremely interesting. And, instead of regressing, the Pakistani radio industry has grown up to 174 official, that's the official number, 174 radio stations. Unofficially, I think it's about 300. When I started, there was only 2.
Right, and now it's 300
Unofficially.
unofficially.
Officially, I think the number is about 176 or 174 according to PEMRA. There's a whole number of radio stations that we're working out there in Pakistan. So I think the number is like 300. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So can you imagine like from 2 to
300,
300? That's,
yes.
I think, yeah, and we're going in the right direction. I think radio stations are getting better. They're getting stronger. They're paying their people well. People are opting for radio as a career. All right. Radio stations are branding buses and billboards, and they're getting high-profile celebrities to work on their, stations like Sahid Lodi. Come on, man. I mean, huge stars like Sahid Lodi, and like actors like Ahmed Ali Butt and Vakar Zaka, and really renowned thinkers of our time. Like even Fasi Zaka has a radio show. Imagine that. So. Yeah, radio's up on the rise after that slump I was talking about.
Yes.
And radio stations are making money too. And it's not like they're making crores, they're making millions of dollars a year, man.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, which is excellent, and everyone's getting a share of the pie, and it opens up a lot of industries. It opens up a lot of career opportunities for guys like you too.
So what other avenues are there for someone who becomes a radio presenter and then wants to explore different fields? Well, for example, you're a voiceover artist as well, and you've done several advertisements. So what other avenues can a person explore?
4 things go hand in hand with radio presentation. Number 1, you get out into voice acting because people will naturally ask you to voice over a commercial. Your radio station asks you first, then clients ask for you, and then you can build a business around it if you're serious about it. Second, people want you to host stuff. Your radio station is going to have an event at Bahria University, you got to go. So you start hosting. If you're good at it, somebody from, like a company will say, hey man, you're a great host. Would you like to do our, annual event or gala or dinner? We'll pay you a couple of $1,000. And you're like, all right, cool, man. That goes hand in hand. I know radio jockeys who have made it a career of being a radio jockey and being a host, like for events. I can name 2, a female and a male. And they make a lot of money out of it too. Tons of money out of it. They groom themselves. They wear nice clothes. They know how to get onto the camera and in front of an audience and malls and stuff. And pretty much every DJ does that. Okay. So the 4th thing alongside of radio. So there's radio, voiceover, hosting. The 4th thing is television, which you're doing right now. Pretty much almost every radio jockey takes a stab at doing a TV show. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Are the 2 compatible? There are 2 different fields, but they intersect somewhere. I think it's the voice aspect of it. Oh ji, aapki awaaz badi achhi hai. Ho sakta hai aapko makeup laga ke aapko zara touch karke theek ho jaye aap. Aur theek ho jate hain,
And a lot of people say that you can become an actor as well because it really, like you said, plays with your voice and makes your voice.
You know what? I didn't think about that. There are several DJs who are high-profile actors now. Adil, Khalid Malik, Ali Safina. I mentioned Ahmed Ali, but he was an actor first and then DJ second. Yeah. So yeah, okay, 5 things. They go hand in hand. You can get into acting as well. What's her name? That girl from, shoot, I forgot her name. She used to have a show on 89 and then on 91. And she was in that big drama with Fahad and Mahira, that breakout drama. You guys remember? You guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know that?
I don't really
know.
All right, so she started on radio and then she became an actor too, and she's like a superstar now. Yeah,
that's great.
Wow.
We're gonna go on a break on this note, and when we're going to come back, we have 3 more segments coming up. So don't go anywhere. See you after the break.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back after the break. We have entered into the second segment now, and in this segment, we call this segment "What We Know About You." So we've got to know some things about you from someone else.
All right.
And we're going to share them with you, and you have to give us your thoughts on that.
All right, cool.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. You did news presenting at BUTV. What was that experience like?
Oh, that was an experience of a lifetime because that's something that I actually wanted to do. It was a goal I set out to complete. It was on my bucket list. That I actually had an aspiration when I was a child to be like a news anchor on CNN or something like that. And I wanted to work my way up. And I thought the first good stepping stone would be PTV. And it was a fantastic experience. I learned a lot, and I thought I was pretty good at it too because they really wanted me back, man. And
what did you say?
I said no because I wanted to move on.
Yeah.
I did TV literally for the love of newscasting. I did PTV News just for the love of newscasting. It was a completely personal experience for me. It was not to get famous. It was not to make money. You're gonna make money at PTV. Come on, man. Although people are now making a lot of money there, but this was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was completely personal, and I fulfilled my goals, and I'm very happy about it. Yeah,
that's great.
Great experience.
All right, second one. Your biggest strength is considered to be your voiceover acting.
Yeah.
How did you develop your skills in that?
My voiceover acting. Yeah, I've done a lot of voiceover acting. I've actually been in a feature film. I did a voice for a very famous actor in the film Jalebi. I've done Burqa Avenger episode. I'm starring in T2 and Tanya right now.
That's an upcoming Pakistani film?
No, it's actually an animation. It's a TV show for
All right,
kids.
okay.
It's a cartoon. It's a
All right,
cartoon for
yeah.
kids. I'm running on BUTV. I'm starring in it. How did I develop it? Lots of practice. Lots of reading out loud. Lots of focus. Focus was the key word. I had to focus on it. I had to learn it. And not from somebody. So there's nobody who can teach it to you in Pakistan. So I actually hired a coach in America who used to Skype with me, and I used to go through, coaching sessions with him. Yeah.
That's a very
That's
good advice for
really
everyone.
interesting.
Yeah.
It really is. So we heard you go on a very nice, unique vacation every year.
Yeah.
So why is it? Like, why do you pick such unique spots every time?
I think it has something to do with what my wife wants to do. And we cross off things on our bucket list of, what the kids want to do, what my wife wants to do, what I want to do. So, and then we get to do that pretty much every year. We set ourselves a goal every year. And we
What's
do
the
that.
next thing on the bucket list?
So this year we're going to a very extensive tour of Canada, coast to coast. So we're going to start from the East Coast and hopefully end up in Vancouver over a period of 2 months. I'm gonna be,
That is so
I'm gonna be there
That
for.
is really different. It's really, out of the,
Yeah.
typical way of having a vacation.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like 4 stops on the way, and hopefully we're working towards that. It's one of the more expensive trips that we're going on.
And which one has been your favorite so far?
It's got to be Europe. It's got to be Italy. Yeah.
Great.
That's my favorite so far.
We have also heard that you have taken your personal interest in translating Quran
Yeah.
into English.
Yes.
And what was your motivation behind it? Why did you, specifically took time for that? It wasn't something that someone told you to do.
No, not at
Yes.
all. The work that we do is fleeting. Fleeting in the sense that you listen to my radio show, you listen to me in the now, and then you don't listen to me later. It's not a TV show. It's not Netflix that you can go back and watch later on, right? I needed something concrete, and I was literally thinking of legacy. The word legacy. People leave behind legacies, and I was like, what am I going to leave behind? When I asked myself that question, I got to thinking, all right, so what are your strengths? What are your skills? Where can you add value? How do you want to improve humanity? I started thinking about, where our country is at the moment. A lot of stuff went in my head. I went a little crazy philosophically thinking about stuff that's going on. And I found that I realized, and I've said this on video before, that there is a dearth in understanding the Holy Quran, and a way to start making our lives better, making our society better, is going back to our roots. Without getting into a philosophical and religious debate, I thought that people were deviating away from the source. All right, so I wanted to go back to the source. So I put all these things together, okay, and I decided in the holy month of Ramadan that I would undertake this project, and I asked for God's help. God helped me. So we did the translation, we did the tafsir, we did the abridged tafsir. I did another translation as well for public release. We made 8 apps for Android and iPhone. We also delved into the biography of the Holy Prophet. We did an audiobook on that. We also did a collection of authentic ahadith called the Riyadus Salihin. So that work has actually gone on for 4 years.
Wow.
And that didn't happen overnight. The first translation of the Quran, it took me 1.5 years to do.
And did that change you as a person as well?
It sure did. Completely. In many ways.
That is amazing.
For the better, yeah.
It really is great.
Yeah.
All right, so you've done over 1,000 voiceovers for advertisements and other...
Actually, more now.
More?
Yeah, the 1,000 figure was like last year.
Yeah.
Now it's 2,000?
No, it's close to 1,300 documentaries.
Oh.
All right, and I have and this is an estimation. And this is a conservative estimation, okay?
Okay.
This is conservative.
Modest right
I'm trying to be like on the low side.
Okay.
Close to about 400 or 500 radio and TV commercials.
So which ones are your most memorable? Do you remember any?
Oh
that-
yes, absolutely. Oh man,
The
we
best
worked.
and the worst.
Oh yeah. We worked on a campaign for Yamaha for their new YBR 125, and we created 7 groundbreaking commercials for them, of which only one was used, and my tagline was used after because they decided to go with a jingle with Ali Zafar. So my voice is used at the end of Ali Zafar's jingle. But we created some groundbreaking work for their in-house videos and stuff. I also did a very unique commercial for Muslim Commercial Bank.
Right.
Usually we record in the studio. I have outdoor recording equipment that's used in Hollywood that I procured a couple of years ago, and I put it to good use. I actually recorded a voiceover about cars, about car loans, driving in a car, and I did that, and that went on air, and the sound and everything, and it's all very natural. So we went, usually what people do in audio production, because I'm an audio producer as well, we take sound effects from here, we take background from here, we take voice from here, we patch it all together. And this, I did all the Foley, all the sound effects, all the voice in a natural environment, a natural setting. Right now there's a campaign running on Shell, and it has got like all these Formula 1 cars and all these really cool cars. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
I've been working with Shell for the last on and off for about 10 years.
Is it because you had interest in cars?
Exactly, exactly. The video turned out really nice, and then it's about driving, and it's like, oh, it's got that passion, it's got that- and the whole tagline is really good. I'm really proud of that. It's on Instagram right now. It's on YouTube right now. The worst might have been where the copywriters had this idea where they wanted me to sound like Kanye West, and you know that. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna give you a sec. You know that whole line that he did, and they used that in a commercial. But there was another guy, and he sounded robotic because he was in Karachi, and there was no melding of the voices, and that commercial didn't turn out too good.
Right.
So I think I did okay, but the other guy was a little robotic, and it was like, it didn't match well. The production wasn't very well, so that I'm not very proud of that.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
So
all right.
you consider it to be extremely professional, right? But at the same time, some people say that you are emotional at heart.
Yeah.
So how does that go side by side?
How do you
keep the
balance it?
It's the rebel in me that I have to pound down in myself, because I'm very emotional. It's because I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate even about my professionalism. Very, very, I'm very passionate about every single thing I do. It needs to be perfect, and it needs to be right. It needs to be done my way. Very, very bullheaded person. Look, man, I'll be honest with you, all right? I'm going to lay down the cards here for you. I started in an industry in Islamabad, and when I started, people told me stuff. You can't do this. I went to a producer at Radio Pakistan, and I said, hey, man, I want to do the news. I think I can do this very well. He said, you can't do it. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? That's where my emotional passion just, my rebel just came out. I was like, what are you talking about? I can't do this. Watch me, bro.
Yeah.
I did the external news on Radio Pakistan for a year. I did PTV for a year. Showed that guy, then one, it's like, gee, all the voice artists in Karachi, you will never break into the market. You will never have a career on this. You'll never be able to do this. I was like, oh yeah? Watch me, bro. Watch me.
now.
Yeah, and watch me like a couple of years later now. So yeah, it was, people telling me, oh gee, you can't do this. Industry aise chalti hai. I was like, no, bro. Aise chalegi ab. In a lot of terms. That's why people think I'm an emotional, because I'm a rebel at heart, man.
I think this is
happy
great.
for you
It really
because,
did work for him.
Yeah.
And this is something which a lot of people can take as an inspiration as well, because most of the times when we get to hear such things, we just get disheartened and we stop working for the thing that we are really
We
passionate
criticize
about.
our own selves, and which is bad though.
Yeah, it sucks when somebody says, oh, there's no future in this or that. Although, of course, for you, the dynamics of the economy and everything have changed, right? But, in a period when, I started work in this industry, it was dominated by several people, man, and it was very hard to break through.
But you knew that you had the talent
Exactly.
and you can make it.
Yeah.
So it's very important for people to figure it out first, be plausible about it,
Yeah.
and then follow your passion.
I could give you a case study of so many people who don't even have talent, who have decided to do something, and their willpower is so strong in deciding to do something. Like unki na आवाज है, ठीक है, शक्ल तो अल्लाह ने दी हुई है, so who am I to comment? And they're like, we want to be on radio, no matter what, by hook or by crook. And I see these people, I'm like, how are they going to do it? I don't discourage them. I've been discouraged myself. I'm going to be the least, person to be like those people, right?
Yeah.
And I see these people, they succeed at what they do. They're like, oh, gee, we want to do TV. They do it. We want to become #1 at this. Guess what? They do. And they achieve it.
It's the willpower, really.
It's willpower, yeah.
So, how do you really balance your private and professional life? I think it's very hard.
Because you're usually considered to be a very balanced person.
Yes.
And we've found that out in this interview as well.
That's one of your reputations. So, how do you balance your private life and your family and your kids and the other professional stuff?
Setting priorities. It's very important to set priorities. So you set priorities and you focus on what's important to you. Is money important to you? Is a family important to you? Is hanging out with your friends important to you? Is it hanging out with your mom and dad important to you? What's important? I could be out on the road every weekend, hosting and stuff, but I shy away from that stuff because I'd rather spend time with my family on the weekends, right? I could be working, full time, be working, 24 hours a day. And I see people do that and making a whole lot more money than I do actually. But then I'm like, what am I killing myself for?
Is it really worth it?
Is it worth it? Yes. Yeah. Is it worth it to me? So you set your priorities. And you know what? It's different for everyone else. You don't follow somebody, usne kiya, so we're just going to do what he does. No. You find out what's important to you. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be money, it could be power, it could be fame, it could be, amassing things, it could be cars, it could be anything, right?
That's some really wise stuff.
Priorities.
Priorities.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go for another break. When we're going to come back, we will enter into the fun part of the show. Why am I mumbling so much today? That is something that I have to work on because of having a sore throat. But anyway, we're going to see you after this break. We have 3 more segments coming up, some really fun games. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We're back, you're watching Breakout. So we're back with Wes Malik and we're gonna have some really fun segments today. And I hope you guys ready for it because this is going to be a very new angle of Wes Malik which you and I both have not seen before. So we're gonna start with the very first segment. It's called Never Have I Ever. The rules are simple. I'm gonna give you a situation and you're gonna tell me if you have or haven't done that.
This is gonna go in a very wrong place very quickly.
It's okay, it's gonna be new angles, like we said.
Okay. All right.
So, should we start?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah. Not ready, but let's do it. Yeah.
You should be ready for it. Okay, first, have you ever gotten into a fist fight?
Yes. Yes, I have.
How bad was it? The worst one.
This is a long time ago, man. This was in school. It was winter. It was a snowbank. I think there was a, there was an issue with hockey.
Oh.
All right, somebody took my stick or something. Somebody wanted to be captain, and I wanted to be, and something like that. And we got into a really bad fist fight. I got a couple of punches in my face. Yeah, and it wasn't pretty, man. It was a long time ago. Then I got beat up once on my bicycle just for, I don't know.
Randomly?
Not randomly. It was more like a racist thing.
Oh.
Yeah, was it in Canada?
Yeah. It was like, beat up with the little packy kid. Yeah, so I got about 20 punches to my face, man. Yeah.
Oh,
so have I been in a fist
hard.
fight? Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been arrested?
Never, ever have I been arrested.
Have you had your kids outsmart you?
Always, every single day. Yes.
Every single day?
Outsmart me, yes.
Have you ever lied to your wife about her cooking?
No, I have not.
You sure? Think about it.
Yes, absolutely
it's
sure.
too salty, but you're like, it's really
Never,
delicious.
ever, 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 ever have I lied to my wife about cooking.
Okay, maybe about other things.
Maybe.
You never know. Have you ever lost your way home in Islamabad?
I want to know this.
Yes.
Okay, just last week, I turned in and I was like, this is not my street. Why did I turn one street before my street? Oh, look at the lights. They're so nice. Okay, let's turn back. Yes, I've done that. I have lost my way home. Yes. Yes, in Islamabad. Yes.
Have you ever gotten into some serious kind of trouble with your parents that you had to like, or like really serious kind of trouble
Like
with your
really
parents?
serious?
Yes.
Like next level kind of crap?
Yes, like next
Oh,
level.
yes, I have. Oh, yes.
Share the story with
Yes.
us.
Oh boy. Shoot. No. No, I can't share that story with
Maybe
you. Man.
just a hint
Not
of it.
even. Not
Okay.
even. No way. It was nasty, man. It was terrible. Let's put it this way. Whatever could happen, did happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So we will be moving to the next segment, which is
Which is a rapid fire round. Now this is going to be fast and quick. You have to say the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word or ask the question.
Okay.
And you have to also rank some people in different orders.
All right. Let's do this.
All right, so let's start with the first one. Khalid Malik.
Sibling brotherhood. Brotherhood comes to mind. Yeah.
Great. Which Pakistani movie did you like the most in 2017?
None.
Okay. Best Pakistani song of 2017?
Morke dekho.
All right, and that's by?
Farhad Humayun.
Okay. So rank in the order of talent: Mahira Khan, Sabah Kamar, Mehwish Hayat, Mawra Hussain, and Sajal Ali.
I don't remember those names, but at the top of the list is Sabah Kamar,
Right.
Mahira,
Mehwish Hayat, Mawra Hussain.
Urva Hussain,
All right.
and
say
then the
Urva.
rest.
Great.
And it's Hussain, by the way.
Okay, it's Hussain, not Hussain.
Yeah.
Everybody is very
Whenever
confused
you
about
have
that.
the letter C in front of a vowel,
Yeah.
it's pronounced S. That's something,
All right,
everyone
thank you
should
for
know.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rank in the order of talent again: Ali Azmat, Atif Aslam, Ali Zafar, Hadika Kiani, or Misha Shafi.
Ali Zafar, because he's a painter, actor, and an amazing singer and an amazing composer, and he sounds exactly like Kishore
True,
Kumar, man.
true.
Come on, man. That is like ultimate.
Yeah.
Atif Aslam, because he's got the greatest God-gifted voice on earth. He sings like a freaking angel, man. Who else was there?
Ali Azmat, Misha Shafi, or Hadika Kiani.
Hadika Kiani.
Yeah.
Been watching her since her PTV days.
Right.
Shoot, I should have ranked her a little higher. Yeah, I should have ranked her a little higher, man.
So Ali
And then
Zafar,
Ali's
Hadika
like
Kiani.
at the bottom. And the last one is Misha is all the way at the bottom.
Okay. So, which one do you like more? Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah Winfrey?
Ellen DeGeneres, man. Come on, she was the fish in Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, finding. Come on, man.
Who doesn't
Ellen, she's
like
so
Ellen, really?
hilarious, man. She's crazy. Come on.
All right, Game of Thrones or Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy. Who watches Grey's Anatomy, man? Game of
People like
Thrones.
it.
Game of Thrones, bro.
Okay, Family Guy or Simpsons?
Holy crap, that is tough, bro. That is tough because I am a fan of Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
He is incredible. All right, Family Guy has been groundbreakingly funny, but I find The Simpsons way more funnier than Family Guy. So I got to give
That's
it
where
to
it
The
all
Simpsons.
started, right?
No, it actually started with the Flintstones, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm not that old.
It doesn't matter if you're old or not, dude. I'm not that old either, dude. My parents were even around when the Flintstones happened. That was
Yeah, I remember that.
1967,
I'm just
man.
kidding. Yeah, true.
But Flintstones was the one that actually started us all, and Simpsons and Family Guy are based on that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so rank in the order of talent again. Now it's about the radio presenters: Khalid Malik, Saad Haroon, Fiza, Wes Malik, or Umar Ghaznavi.
Man,
So you
I
have to-
can't do this.
You have to do it.
Go
They're
on.
my colleagues and they're my friends, and it would be very unfair of me to rank.
Or you can just tell who is the best.
You're gonna rank yourself
I am
first, of course.
extremely narcissistic.
Yeah.
I beat out all of them, man.
Great, so
For sure.
Wes Malik on the
Number
top.
one, yeah.
Perfect. So that was it with the rapid fire round.
Did I win?
Well, there is a
something-
win-win
We'll tell you-
situation,
we'll tell you in the-
absolutely.
Yeah, we're
There's no
supposed to-
losing.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool.
And the last game is the word game.
Oh shoot, there's another game?
Yes.
Asking.
Oh my
It's
lord.
the last one.
Okay.
You gotta stick to it.
Okay.
So we're gonna say random words. We're gonna just throw random words at you, and you're gonna say the first thing that comes in your mind without hesitation. You cannot stop for a second.
All right. All
Okay.
right, let's do this.
Let's go with the easy ones.
Okay.
Pakistan.
Zindabad.
FM 89.
The best.
Radio Pakistan.
The worst.
The worst. West Malik.
Fake accent.
Really?
Right.
The
we got
first
the-
thing that came to my mind.
We got the sarcasm on that. Thanks.
Family.
Important.
Kids.
Fantastic.
Ice cream.
Cold.
Chocolate.
Oh, love it.
Do you have any other words in your mind? Come on.
Winters. We're
Oh,
about to end.
shoot, my ears.
Your ears?
Yeah, the first thing that goes cold in winter is my ears, man.
Oh,
My
Lord.
my big ears.
What
Yeah.
about summer?
Summer. Oh, bijli ka bill, man.
True that.
Shoot, man.
Cars.
35 grand, air conditioners on, man. Not fun.
All
Cars.
right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me, man. It was fun.
All right,
It
do
was
you want
really
to say
fun.
anything in the end to everyone who's watching us right now?
Look, I talk to a lot of people all the time, all right? And they always, I have a lot of people come up to me every single day, how to become a radio presenter. And it ranges 11-year-olds, 57-year-olds.
Oh.
Everyone has a passion for this, all right?
Yeah.
The problem is no one takes it seriously as a career, and they don't know what they want to do with their life. My message is figure out as soon as you can what you want to do. Get into that, stick to it, man. And
Right.
it has to be specific. Not like, oh, I just want to be on radio. No. Specific, like, for instance, you mentioned Umar Ghaznavi. I want to be the best sports caster in Pakistan. All right, now you have a specific goal. Go for it, dude or dudette. Just kill it, do it, learn the skills, get into it. Doesn't matter you're 11 or 57, that's my message.
Work on your passion. That's something.
Be specific, yeah.
Be specific. All right, so that's it from today's show, and we're gonna see you next time. Take care of yourself. Always be kind to one another.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.